The Simpsons are no strangers to talking about homosexuality.
You're all sick!
Oh, be nice!
Obviously, they had Smithers be in the closet for the longest time, and later revealed Patty to be gay as well, and eventually introduced other gay characters like Julio. And of course, there's the character John, who is in one of the best episodes The Simpsons ever made. An episode that tackled homosexuality, and The Simpsons won an Emmy for it.
And I don't want you calling him a sissy. This guy's a fruit! And a... No, wait, queer! That's what you like to be called, right?
Well, that or John.
Several years after that success, they made an episode about Homer moving into the gay district of Springfield, which was mediocre at best. But it got them another Emmy. So after being 2 for 2 in Emmy wins for gay episodes, they went for another one later on, and won the Emmy. And this episode is easily the worst of the 3. But is Mad About the Toy the worst Simpsons ever? Let's find out. But before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to our patrons. If you like our content and want to support us, consider becoming a patron, where you get access to all our videos 1 week early. If not, a like and subscribe goes a long way. Thank you. Now let's get to the episode, which begins with Homer and Marge getting ready to celebrate their anniversary, where we get a pretty bad joke about Homer being fat, followed up by a worse joke where the Simpsons try to be topical with an Alexa. Homer's intention is to have the Alexa be a babysitter, but Marge isn't a fan of that, so Homer gets Abe to babysit, which doesn't start off too well, leading Homer and Marge to speedrun their date, where we get the first, and hopefully not last funny joke of the episode. Hopefully.
Keep your motor running! He shoots, he scores!
Shut that off! We then see Abe with the kids, who's forcing them to watch the Geezer channel, leading Bart to do the only possible thing he could have to end it.
Kids, where do we keep the castor oil?
In the 1940s.
Lisa then suggests they play a board game, which Abe turns down pickup sticks because they're too old. But doesn't he like old things? I mean, he was just watching the Geezer channel. The kids then find a mysterious bag of toys that turn out to be army men, which causes Abe to freak out, having a flashback about his time in the war, and is still freaking out by the time Homer and Marge get home, leading them to take Abe to supposedly a therapist, even though this guy comes off way more like a psychiatrist, especially after he mistakes Homer for being a patient and takes him to electroshock therapy, which sounds like a malpractice lawsuit coming to this therapist. And if you were wondering the difference between the two, psychiatrists are medical doctors that deal with mental health. Therapists are mental health counselors. Anyway, during the session, we learn that Abe is a psychopath.
I'm telling you, what I saw in the war don't bother me none. I had a job to do and I did it. What secretly helped me was I enjoyed killing strangers.
Which is immediately followed by him being unfazed by graphic war images. Yeah, if Springfield ever had a serial killer, I'm immediately accusing Abe of it. He then freaks out again when Bart shows the army men to the doctor. We then see Abe's past, where we learn he was dishonorably discharged from the army, which they'd never mentioned before. It also implies that Mr. Burns was the rightful winner of the Tanti from the classic Flying Hellfish episode.
So consider this your dishonorable discharge. You're out of my unit, you're out of the tontine, and that means the paintings are mine!
You lying bastard. You were already dishonorably discharged, meaning you were out of the tontine in the 50s. And as someone with no power in the army, you can't dishonorably discharge another person. Justice for Mr. Burns, the true winner of the illegal tontine. Anyway, back to the episode. Abe gets picked up by 2 Mad Men parodies, who offer him a job to be a model for Army Men toys.
Boy, this toy modeling is a great racket!
That's what you think!
Oh no, don't put me back in! Don't put me back in!
Abe was supposed to receive royalties for every toy sold, and he just remembers that he never got paid for this work. so he could be out millions of dollars.
Dad, when was the last time I said I love you? I don't have the money yet. Then I don't quite love you yet.
Leading him to spread awareness about it by going on The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell. And you won't believe this, guys. They got the actual Lawrence O'Donnell for the episode. Because everyone knows who Lawrence O'Donnell is and clearly watches his show. Let's see. What the hell channel is this on? MSNBC. Everyone loves MSNBC. And it's not only relevant for the 60 to 70-year-old people who make The Simpsons. Oh boy, everyone's gonna love Lawrence O'Donnell. During this moment, we also get the most annoying part of the episode, where Abe and the great Lawrence O'Donnell have a back and forth about trying to get the last word in. Hooray. This appearance does work though, almost immediately. Like quite literally almost immediately. Abe isn't even out of his interview chair before the toy company responds and wants to meet with Abe.
Payday! Oh, I'm gonna be rich! That means I'm gonna be a trust fund baby! I'm not paying for your trip to Aspen! It's almost spring break, and I'm bored.
The family is then given a first-class trip to New York City, which Homer has no issue going back to, despite his utter hatred for the city, after what happened to him the last time he went there. But I guess we don't talk about that episode anymore. They then head to the toy company, where we see this interaction.
Huh? Oh, you never called him out for his bad behavior?
No, but I put mercury in his coffee. Oh, don't worry. He can't hear me.
Well, what are you two doing? Swapping recipes?
Sort of. Let me get you some coffee.
You see, it's funny that this man is slowly being horrifically poisoned because he is a bastard who's sexually harassing this woman. And you shouldn't feel bad for sexual harassers in the workplace. Remember this moment, people. Homer confronts the CEO about owing his dad millions of dollars for the armament sales, only for the CEO to reveal that Abe never signed his contract for the toys.
You think I left millions on the table? That doesn't sound like me.
Hundreds of millions.
That sounds like me.
Apparently Abe ran out of the modeling session before it was finished. We see the session, and Abe telling the photographer that he's enjoying doing it. Then the photographer forcibly kisses Abe, causing him to run out of the session. And here's the biggest problem with the episode. From this point on, Abe is questioning his sexuality. Sure, fine, whatever. But they're trying to make us sympathetic for this photographer because he's gay. When the CEO did this to his secretary, you shouldn't feel bad for him for being poisoned because he's a scumbag. But I should feel bad for this guy when he did something worse to Abe. Screw that. Obviously the problem isn't that the guy's gay. The problem is he's a freaking creep. And I'm not gonna feel bad for him. We then get this moment.
We found out what happened and we fired Philip.
For kissing an employee?
No, for being gay. That's just what you did in the good old days.
Grandpa, is that true? You ruined a man's career?
What the hell, Marge? First of all, Abe wasn't the person who fired the guy. Secondly, he's the victim in the situation, you bitch. Don't blame him for that creep being fired. Blame the guy in the room who actually fired them. Abe responds with this.
And all he was doing was expressing his love for me.
You know, this episode was made after the Me Too movement. Which I think, if it wasn't about a man kissing a man, and was about a man forcibly kissing a woman who freaked out like Abe did, and was shown to be traumatized from it, people probably would have thrown more of a fit over this. But no, Hollywood, who was greatly exposed in the Me Too movement, gives this episode an Emmy. Oh my gosh, you guys. Do you know Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby were just expressing their love for those women too? Brave little soldiers.
Oh, by the way, I was being sarcastic.
Well, duh.
When flying back home, Lisa finds out that the Predator... wait, the Predator? That's not right. Screw it, leave it in. Lisa finds out that the photographer is now living in Texas, and the family all agrees to go there, so Abe can finally confront his harasser. I mean, apologize to this poor, innocent soul.
We're all going to Texas. The plant can get by without me for a little longer.
During the drive to Texas, we get a song about the state, meaning once again, there's a song in the episodes I review for the worst Simpsons ever. I've been making these for like 3 months now, and there's only been one episode without a song. But it was a decent little song. I would play it, but any song gets immediately flagged for copyright. But the song's not really worth going out of your way to hear it. We then get this funny moment.
Over there are the Marfa lights.
Oh, how magical.
I know, they seem that way, but there's an explanation. It turns out reflected like...
Don't ruin it.
And after that, we get the for your consideration line of the episode.
Now to face my greatest fear. Someone who only had love for me.
Am I wrong in thinking that was only said for it to be replayed at the Emmys? When they're talking about how this show is nominated? I assume they do that for nominations. I wouldn't know for sure. Because what sane person wastes hours of their lives watching the Emmys? I'd rather watch paint dry. Anyway, Abe makes it to the town where the photographer lives, where this all gets much creepier. As we find out, this dude has been obsessed with Abe for decades. You know, the man he only met once for a couple of hours well over 60 years ago. Seriously, was this supposed to come off as endearing? Or romantic or something? This was just creepy as hell. Abe then apologizes to this creep, who should have been the one who apologized. But that doesn't happen. The creep then says Abe didn't ruin his life. He actually saved it. Because after he got fired, he decided to only live his truth. Hooray. The two then finish the photo session, and Abe kisses Creepy McGee, and decides, nope, not gay, sorry. Then, all the army men are shown to be alive and they have a slow dance together, before being horribly murdered in the microwave. The end. I don't think it's a shock to anyone that this was a bad episode. They try to make you sympathize for a creep who forcibly kissed Abe, and made Abe feel bad about being the victim in the situation. Now obviously I know what they were going for. It's not like they were being subtle about it. And I don't have an issue about Abe questioning his sexuality, if it wasn't this guy they did it with. I mean, Abe actually has a good line that I really liked.
Son, as I've gotten older, I've started to think maybe a man can love different things and still be a man.
In the end, this episode was just Emmy bait, and it was really poorly done. But hey, they won the Emmy, so kudos for that, I guess. So, is Mad About the Toy the worst Simpsons ever? No, it isn't. While I didn't like the plot, it's far from the worst I've ever seen on the show. And while I didn't like this guy, I didn't despise him like I did other characters in the past. Also, the episode did have one thing going for it, which was it had a good amount of funny jokes in it. I mean, it also had bad jokes too, don't get me wrong. But I laughed a lot during it. It also really made me want to buy Army Men. I mean, you can get a 300-piece set for $20, and it comes with tanks and planes and missiles. Hell yeah! And if they did a collab with The Simpsons, and made Abe the Army Men, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Get on it, Disney. But that stuff doesn't stop the episode from being bad, and it deserves an F. However, it's not the worst Simpsons ever. But can I say that about the next episode? And what episode is that? Well, if you watched this video series so far, and know about hated Simpsons episodes, you'd probably be surprised that it's taken this long for me to review this one, because it's easily in the top 5 most hated Simpsons episodes. And it's all about Moe and his bar rag, which can talk. Yeah, stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.